All right, so we're back and ready for another deep dive. This one goes deep into one of the most unbelievable comebacks in baseball history. It's Game 5 of the 2024 World Series, Dodgers and Yankees. And man, the Dodgers were this close to clinching it.
Oh, yeah. Talk about a game that really shows you how momentum can swing back and forth. I mean, this game had it all. Two absolute aces going head-to-head, what looked like an insurmountable lead, and then boom, everything flips on its head. Nobody saw it coming.
I'll bet. So Game 5 at Yankee Stadium, the place is buzzing, and it's Jarrett Cole on the mound for the Yanks. And for the Dodgers, it's Jack Flaherty. And Cole, he comes out firing strikes out the side in the first inning like it's nothing. Talk about setting the tone.
Cole was dealing, no doubt about it. He wasn't just overpowering them. He was mixing his pitches, hitting his spots, keeping the Dodgers hitters totally off balance. I mean, they had no idea what was coming next. He had a game plan, and he was sticking to it.
And then you got Flaherty, who'd been Mr. Reliable for the Dodgers all season. But in this game, he looked like he was feeling the pressure. Gives up back-to-back home runs to Judge and Chisholm in the bottom of the first. And just like that, the Dodgers are down 3-0 before they even had a chance to catch their breath.
And let's not forget, the Dodgers were already missing some serious firepower on offense with Ohtani nursing that shoulder. It put even more pressure on their pitching staff to keep them in games.
So yeah, Flaherty's early struggles, they really amplified the tension in that Dodgers dugout. Put yourself in their shoes, down 3-0, Cole's just mowing you down, what's going through your mind, because it got worse. The Yankees, they smelled blood in the water, and they just kept pouring it on. Stanton launches a solo shot in the third. Verdugo drives in another run in the fifth. It's 5-0 Yankees, and honestly, it felt like it was all slipping away for the Dodgers.
You see, that's momentum in baseball, right? It's not just a feeling. It's like this weight that shifts from one team to the other. And at that point, the Dodgers were carrying a whole lot of it.
The Yankees were playing like they owned the place, that swagger, and the Dodgers, they were on their heels. But then the bottom of the fifth inning happened. That's where this game, maybe even the whole series, completely flipped on its head.
Yeah, all it took was a couple of defensive miscues by the Yankees, an error here, a mental lapse there, and that's all it took. Suddenly, the Dodgers had a crack, a chance to breathe.
And they took that opportunity and ran with it. Freddie Freeman comes up huge with a 2 RBI single, then boom, Teoscar Hernandez, who hadn't done much up to that point, launches a 3-run bomb over Judge's head-tie game. 5-5. Can you believe that?
The energy in that stadium shifted so fast, it was unbelievable. 1 minute the Yankee fans are roaring, the next you could hear a pin drop. That inning, it was a textbook example of how to capitalize on your opponent's mistakes and swing the momentum back in your favor.
It was like hitting the reset button on the whole game.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the Dodgers had life, and the Yankees, well, they looked rattled.
No doubt about it. The psychological impact of that inning was huge. The Yankees went from feeling invincible to wondering what hit them. And the Dodgers, even though they'd been down big early, they found this incredible surge of energy. It really speaks to their resilience, their never-say-die attitude.
So now we're tied 5-5 going into the late innings. And that's where things really start to get interesting.
Every pitch, every at-bat, you could feel the pressure building.
It was a battle of wills, for sure. And the lead kept changing hands. Stanton puts the Yankees back on top with a sac fly in the sixth. But then, just when you thought the Dodgers might be running out of steam, Gavin Lux answers right back with a sac fly of his own in the eighth. Ties the game again at 6-6. Going into the ninth, neither team had given an inch.
It's incredible, right? The Dodgers hadn't had a single lead the entire game. They were fighting uphill the whole way, but they never let that deficit break them. They just kept clawing their way back, and you could see they still believed they could win.
So it's the bottom of the ninth, tie game. Dodgers haven't led once all game. Who does Roberts turn to in this situation? Well, it's someone who wasn't even sure he'd be on the roster.
He goes with Walker Buehler. Now remember, Buehler is coming off a long recovery. His second Tommy John surgery, in fact. There were real doubts about whether he'd even be able to pitch in the postseason. But there he was, on the mound, with the World Series on the line.
It's a storybook ending waiting to happen. And Buehler, he's bringing the heat. 97, 98 on the radar gun, mixing in that nasty curveball that's just dropping off the table. The Yankees hitters, they didn't stand a chance.
And think about this. Buehler had started Game 3 just 2 days earlier. To come in for a save in that kind of pressure cooker after starting a game just 2 days ago, that's pure guts, pure dedication to his team.
He gets the first out, the second, and then boom, strike three.
Yeah.
Buehler shuts down the Yankees 1-2-3, ends the game, wins the World Series for the Dodgers. He drops to his knees. The team swarms him on the mound. What a moment. What a story.
It's almost like something out of a movie, right? The guy battles back from a career-threatening injury. People think he's done, and he ends up being the World Series hero. You talk about perseverance, about never giving up. That's Walker Buehler right there.
Pure Hollywood magic.
Uh-huh.
And, Bueller was incredible, but we can't forget about Mookie Betts.
Mm-hmm.
With that win, he becomes the first active player with 3 World Series rings. First with the Red Sox back in 2018, then with the Dodgers in 2020, and now again in 2024. He's in some pretty elite company now, names like Yogi Berra, Joe DiMaggio.
Yeah, Betts has cemented himself as one of the best players of this era, no doubt. And he was a huge part of this World Series. Big hits, amazing plays in the field, just a quiet leader. Remember that sac fly he had in the 8th, bases loaded? That's Mookie Betts for you. Steps up when it matters most.
And of course, we have to talk about Shohei Ohtani. Battling that shoulder injury all series long. He wasn't the dominant Ohtani we're used to seeing, but he still found ways to contribute.
Easy for him to sit this one out, focus on getting healthy for next season. But Ohtani, he's a competitor through and through. He wanted to be out there with his team, fighting for a championship. That says a lot about his character, his commitment to the team. He didn't have those highlight reel moments, but just having him in the lineup, his ability to get on base, put pressure on pitchers, it all made a difference.
After the game, everyone was talking about the Dodgers' resilience, how they just refused to quit, even down 5-0.
A lot of praise for Dave Roberts, too, the Dodgers manager. He'd taken some heat in past postseasons for some of his decisions, but in this series, he was on point. He knew which buttons to push, kept his players focused and motivated. And let's be honest, managing that pitching staff, especially with Ohtani not at 100%, that was crucial.
What were some of those key decisions he made in Game 5 that really stand out to you? I mean, the results speak for themselves, but what was the thinking behind them?
Well, bringing in Buehler for the save, that was a risky move. He's not your typical closer, and he just pitched 2 days before. But Roberts trusted his gut. He knew Buehler had the mental toughness to handle that moment, and it paid off big time. Then there's the decision to stick with Flaherty after that rough first inning. A lot of managers would have panicked, gone to the bullpen, but Roberts showed faith in his starter. And Flaherty, to his credit, settled down and gave the Dodgers a chance to get back in it.
That faith in his players, it seems to be a hallmark of Roberts' managing style. He believes in them, and they respond to that.
Absolutely. It's not just about the strategy, the X's and O's. It's about knowing your players, when to push them, when to support them, creating an environment where they can thrive.
This World Series, and Game 5 especially, it was an emotional roller coaster. What do you think this game teaches us, both on and off the field?
I think the biggest takeaway for me is just the power of believing in yourself and your team. I mean, the Dodgers, down 5 in, facing elimination, you could see how easily they could have folded under that pressure. But they never did. They kept fighting, kept picking each other up, and in the end, they found a way to win.
Absolutely. It reminds you that even when things look impossible, when you're facing your own bottom of the ninth, you can't give up. Keep believing, keep pushing, and sometimes those improbable victories are the ones that feel the best.
And it wasn't just about individual talent either. Sure, the Dodgers have some amazing players, but what really set them apart was that teamwork, that resilience, the way they rallied around each other. This championship, it was a true team effort, and that's what makes it so special.
What really struck me about this series, it wasn't just how hard fought it was, but also the respect between the two teams. Even in defeat, you could see the Yankees acknowledging what an incredible effort the Dodgers put in.
You're right, competition can bring out the best in us, even when we come up short. There's something inspiring about seeing athletes pushing each other to their limits while still showing that sportsmanship.
It's that combination of grit and grace, isn't it? We can strive for excellence and still treat our opponents with respect. And that's what makes sports so compelling. It's not just about the wins and losses. It's about the stories, the triumphs, the heartbreaks, and the lessons we can learn from watching these athletes pursue their dreams.
Yeah, this World Series, and especially that Game 5, it was a clinic in momentum, resilience, and the power of belief. It showed us that sometimes the most unexpected journeys lead to the greatest rewards.
It's a reminder to embrace the challenges, to push ourselves, and to never forget that even when we fall behind, the game's not over until we say it is.
Well said. On that note, I think we'll leave it there.
This has been a wild ride, folks. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into One for the Ages. Until next time, keep swinging for the fences.